You were telling me that you see God or evidence of God in math.
Well,
can you explain what you were saying? Or maybe I misread what you were saying.
No, you did not. I have been closer and closer to God in the sense that because it takes me a long time, I'm rather rebellious. I have to say, damn it, God, you got to prove it to me. Show it to me, buddy. Just kidding. Oh, I'm sorry to anybody. No offense. But I really say it in that way. You talk to yourself in a sense. But in many, many moments in history of physics or mathematics, things come out. You see, mathematics, is this very pure word that it seems to have no connection to real world physics.
That's right.
It's true. It's complex number is one of them. But it appears in quantum mechanics, right? It's so beautiful. But one of the things that sometimes you see in equation is so amazing. When you formulate, maybe it's not right. Maybe it's this and that. Maybe, you doubt yourself. But one of the most beautiful equation was the one that derived by Paul Dirac. He's a professor at Cambridge University, but he retired in Florida, by the way. He died in Florida, Tallahassee. It's a refuge for him because he doesn't like to talk. He will sit there for 5 days, he don't talk. One day, all of a sudden, he talk. But anyway, he formulated, he's a beautiful man. Paul Dirac, he formulated this relativistic equation for electrons. But in one of the equations, the solution come out to be a negative sign. Not only that, there's a square root involved, so there's strange behavior. There's a negative sign involved, but it has the exact property, like an electron and all that stuff. How come? Everybody say you crazy, you stupid, this and that, right? He's not even he didn't, no sweat, buddy. He just say, I am right. Few years later, it is shown in Caltech by Carl Anderson to show there's actually such a thing called positron. The opposite, the brothers of electron. There's such a thing. And then if you ask yourself, how is it possible? Right? There's something, this is just out of nowhere. Where does this thing come from? And then in mathematical sciences, there's a lot of things like this, like geometry. There's an even more famous thing about in geometry is called Calabi-Yau manifold that related to string theory. This thing was basically a revisit of Einstein's general relativity equation, asking itself whether is it possible to have closed curvature in space-time that you actually don't require even gravity to be there. And they show that Calabi was trying to prove this Yao, Xingdong Yao is one of the great mathematicians, right? He's at Harvard, but he retired, now he go to China, right? He was the one who tried to disprove this thing, but he turns out to be true. That it's true that you can have closed curvature in space-time that without gravity even. So that added even more rich in this world. That from mathematics to real world, we already have enough hard time understanding Einstein. This guy added even more. And his discovery was in the 70s and things like that, So there's so many examples and incidents like this. Just have to tell you that you have to bow down. You have to occasionally take a deep breath. There may be some ever presence of these forces that allow us to illuminate our life. And I tell you, God has given us all this light that tell us that we have to follow the light and do the best we can, rather than every day devouring planet Earth, saying that we are the Satan, we are the evil people. These people are constantly trying to, make all of us a lesser human being. I would never allow them anyway. So, good luck, for those people like Al Gore and all that who think that they're high and mighty, right? And trying to always lecture us on got to cut down on fossil fuel because we're going to hurt the planet Earth. I say, Al Gore, do you ever think twice? Who are you to think that you can actually try to save the planet Earth even? Because they always use the word, I'm trying to save the planet. I don't know who gives them the right to save the planet Earth. Same with this experiment that they're trying to do, by the way. The experiment to say that we must cut down CO2 emission. I told you CO2 is good for life. Because I asked Al Gore, indeed, when I asked Al Gore the question in UC Santa Barbara, is that CO2 is gas of life. Who give you the audacity to cut down this? Then are you going to be responsible for the ecological and humanitarian, all this crisis? Even we know rising CO2 affect even plants, especially food production, right? Maybe not exact number we know, but it does positively, right? We have technology to help it, better seed, better all this fertilization, all this other thing. But who give them the idea to do that, to cut down? Because generally going to be good for life, because you have to push them around, because nobody should give them the authority. So far, I don't think anyone can answer that question for me. So I tell them to please bow down to God. Really answer to that question first before you do anything else, because it's ridiculous for them to claim that they have the upper moral and ethical high ground to try to prescribe everybody to live in certain conditions that they choose. But they themselves don't follow the rules. They tell us to take a bus. Elgo always even tell people to take a bus, Elgo. My God, I say, Elgo, you take a bus from Tennessee to Massachusetts, I'll be waiting for you down there. Please. I mean, this guy is just out of this world, man. I'm sorry, Elgo, but you can still call me.
Can you, Willie soon, thank you. But before you go, last thing for viewers who want to know more about what you do, can you say once again where they can read it?
Please, I hope that I don't disappoint anyone, but please come to series-sign.com. And I want to make one plug for my good friend, Hal Shirtliff. As I get older and older, including my own kids, 3 kids has been going to the Camp Constitution at New Hampshire. And we also wanted to invite Tucker Carlson to come because Vivek Ramaswamy came last summer. And because we are a very, very small group, we are a tiny little group called Camp Constitution. So campconstitution.net. We offer basically family, kind of a Christian kind of a background, but we don't talk about Christ all the time, but we talk about Bibles, we talk about Constitution, we talk about science. So I'm the science instructor. I've been doing that for almost 6-7 years now. So I've been doing every year, I will give 1 or 2 classes, depends on how many, whatever they want me to do, I'll do. And my own kids came to those things, and then, we play music, we have campfire. It's a family event. Used to be that's focused on kids, but this day, I'm sorry, too many adults started to come. So we have even people like my good friend, Lord Christopher Monckton from England. He spoke twice. So small little group, but if anybody who thinks that, you have the time and even come and learn what we do here and emulate in your own city and towns and all that, people from Wisconsin, please come. People from California, please come. We have it in New Hampshire every year. Every summer, we have this camp, and it's a very good thing. So campconstitution.net, okay? And I talked to your friend, Vince Allison from Maryland. I also called him before I came. He's one of the good guys, right? Yeah.
Amazing.
Younger people say the news is full of lies.
Kennedy's motorcade.
239 people. The death of Jeffrey Epstein.